What is going on? I'm Zedmont. Today we are going to be doing some warships, but first you need to go check inside your armory because we've got the Rainmakers, and the Rainmakers are the most popular prototype troop ever. At a low level and a high level, you can likely clear your map without losing any troops, so do load those up. Use those as best you possibly can. They are fantastic. I can't rave about them enough. They are the most popular, like I mentioned. Anyways, we're going to get into some warships now. This warships video is going to be all about rocket choppas. Now, it's specifically going to be about rocket choppas without shocks. You can pull out some wins, and they can be incredibly fast. This is my fastest, 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Everspark is on this account. My other account has Bullit. That is going more towards the Seeker side of things. Do consider subscribing. I'll bring that account in later on. But this is the critical detail. Flaring in this corner right here is my number one tip for you. Let's have a quick little draw session here. Instead of coming across and getting picked off from that boom cannon, by coming into the corner, we avoid that boom cannon's range, and it just makes things ever so much better. So attack's going to jump slightly ahead here, and now you'll see this layout is just awful. Rocket Choppas don't even need to reflare. 3 minutes, 8 seconds. If you've gotten faster, please do show me. That is pretty darn quick. I've managed to get like 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 4 seconds, but 3 minutes, 8 seconds was just straight up ridiculous. One thing to note, you're going to start to see more and more boom cannons. Now, again, don't be a Mr. Boom. I'll talk about that in a sec, but we're going to come in. Everspark, getting her critters out is super duper important because that way those cannons and machine guns and sniper towers and things aren't going to be shooting your rocket choppas. And then again, using this little detail right here, cannons have a delay and their range is not super long. So this doesn't work against boom cannons, but flare the cannon. You can get them taken down before they kill any of your rocket choppas. Again, doing that again right here. You'll see I've lost 0 rocket choppas and we've come into range of 2 cannons. And then using smoke. Smoke's not really required. And I find that I screw things up. That smoke was a little bit lucky. Managed to get all of the buildings down. But again, I wanted to show you what Mr. Boom did. Don't do this, please. It's just I can't stand it when people do this, so we're going to call out Mr. Boom. This is Mr. Boom's attack, and there's nothing wrong with this attack. I'm pretty sure I was their boss battle based on the fact that I went gold and they went down into 15. But Mr. Boom, you can tell, starting to get frustrated here. My shock mines are fairly well hidden, and again, this part of the attack, just a little bit unfortunate. They got caught by my base, but this is the part that drives me absolutely crazy. 2 minutes and 17 seconds of nothing. They didn't retreat. They didn't disconnect. They didn't close the game. They just sat there for 2 minutes and 17 seconds being a clown. So don't be a Mr. Boom. Moving on forwards against said 72. There's my 3 minutes, 4 seconds. You'll see no boom cannons, no rocket launchers. That's how I managed to pull this off. And in the last 12 or so hours, that has changed. Starting to see lots and lots of people with the rocket launchers. Now, rocket launchers aren't so bad on their own, but mixed in with boom cannons are the number one way to stop rocket choppas. And I'm not suggesting that many people go to rocket choppas, because without shocks, it definitely takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of patience. And not many people have all 3 of those. I am definitely lacking on the patience side of things. So you see there, I dropped my rocket choppas a little bit too early, but still managed to get a little bit lucky. Now, most times I go for that middle engine room, but by going for that far right-hand side one, we avoid the range of that boom cannon. Then we can come back and avoid all of the boom cannon goodness to come back to that middle one. So my blueprint of attacks is usually go left and then right, and then left, then middle, then right. But in certain instances, like you've seen with my 2 fastest times, skipping that middle one is a great suggestion. So on this one, I fizzle more than I'd care to admit. I'm not going to show you too many fizzles here. I'm going to skip over most of the losses because hopefully you can gain some things from me on the winning side. And now you'll see right here that I'm using way too many flares. And then this smoke is covering half of my rocket choppas. And so I don't necessarily recommend using smoke. If you do throw smokes, make sure you throw them far enough away that either all of your rocket choppas pop out or all of them stay underneath the smoke. If you end up with half in and half out, it's just a recipe for disaster. So we're going to keep... I was hoping to see if that person used Seekers, but they actually fizzled using all heavies, which is a little bit surprising. My base, people have been clearing it incredibly well, but I find that my hidden shock mines have been utterly perfect. So that's why these shock mines, trapping troops, if you have shock mines, I suggest hiding them. And as soon as you have one visible, that game is up. So again, this instance, I'm fairly sure that anytime you see machine guns and flamethrowers up the front, I am bound to lose a rocket chopper or two because I just can't keep them where I want them. And in this instance, just wasting all of my gunboat energy, absolutely and utterly terrible, terrible attack on my part. Just didn't come up with a plan and almost left in defeat. Thankfully, this opponent, I watched and watched and watched. They didn't retreat. They only got one engine room and then they just sat there. So I went into super, super conservative mode and managed to get all of these buildings down and get that final engine room just by being super, super patient. So you can shift gears a little bit depending on your hero choice. Let's get up and show Extreme Neil, then we'll get into some live attacks. Hoping to show you 2 live attacks just to keep things going. You see right there again, too impatient, dropping those rocket choppas too soon, and they've got all their defenses stacked on that far right-hand wall, so we can just cruise right in, take down everything else, and please be aware that there are more troop types coming. Bases like that are just going to get utterly punished. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go into 4 engine rooms yet, or if I'm going to go back and get GBE or Barrage. At this point, I'm undecided. My other account is going to go the Seekers route, I think, but still up in the air. Anyways, let's get in, get a battle rocking and rolling, and hopefully show you a couple quick wins. So this base, lots and lots of machine guns and flamethrowers, so need to be extra patient with Everspark because all of her critters are going to die, and they're going to die very, very quickly. So this is about as patient as I can be. Probably should wait a little bit more because those boom cannons eating up some of my critters, but we'll just see what we can do. And you see, all of a sudden, those rocket choppas race in faster than critters, so we are likely going to lose at least 1 rocket choppa in this exchange, maybe even 2 depending. Just not patient enough. Should have waited a little bit. And with rocket choppas, you're going to be faster than 95% of people you face anyways. So don't do what I did. Racing in is just not a good idea. Should be able to get this engine room without losing any. And then we're going to do that patented flare back. Get out of the range of all of the things. And if I had shocks right now, this attack would be so much easier because that boom cannon is going to ruin a couple of our rocket choppas. It's just a matter of when the heck we need to flare it. This is going to be very, very close. With cannons, you can take out cannons without losing a rocket choppa. Generally speaking, if you flare early enough, you can get boom cannons down, only losing 1. So this is not a strategy that I recommend for people who do not have instant training, but if you do have instant training, you can cruise on in. This is going to be incredibly close, losing, what is that, like 4 or 5 rocket choppas, but still managing to take the victory. So, like I said, the later you wait to get rocket choppas, the more likely that you're going to have problems, because these things are just super, super fragile. You can fly over the gaps, but we're just waiting for this person to finish retreating, taking a long, long time. First stars of the game. Anyways, we are going to jump straight from this into the next battle. Don't want to have you guys sitting here watching me. I've already spent a whole bunch of time clicking through my tech tree and stuff, so we're going to jump straight from this into the next battle. Okay, last battle of the day, hopefully. Holy, this person has a lot of boom cannons, a lot of rocket launchers, and a lot of snipers. So if we can pull this off, it's going to be, I'm not super, super hopeful, but again, patience, 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 patience. We've got all sorts of critters out. Now, Everspark for me is only level 1, so she's not pumping critters out super duper quickly. So I probably should upgrade her if I'm going to keep going on this strategy, or I could use those keys towards getting shocks. I am not decided yet. Would love to hear what you guys think about. And you'll notice that I've thrown my flares a little bit early a couple times here, where taking down mortars or machine guns are easy, free gunboat energy, but I've made a couple small mistakes. Again, using that corner flare and then coming all the way around, we're going to be out of the range of that rocket launcher, which is going to, boom cannon, I should say, which should be perfect. And then we're going to come back and get this middle one simply because we should be out of the range of all of the things, and then back into the corner. And just using those corners are such a great way. You'll notice that I often miss those flares, which is a little bit unfortunate, but overall, coming back, and that way we can guarantee that all of our troops are going to come through that smoke, going to sneak past that boom cannon, hopefully, and now getting that final engine room. Oh, just so dire. Thankfully, those rocket choppas that died did drop some Zookas. My Zookas are only level 1, but at least they acted as a distraction. Holy cannoli, down to 1 rocket choppa left. And like I said, not great for without instant training, but thankfully I've got instant training. So Giffical is going to take the loss. We are going to move on upwards and just really tempted to go back and get those shocks. It really comes down to if I'm going to go to 4 engine rooms or if I'm going to go back and get shocks. Shocks are pretty darn cheap, so it might be a good idea, but lots of people going towards GBE and Barrage as well. So getting out of the 4 engine room level might just be the best way to go. Anyways, as always, thank you for spending your time with me, coming on in. If I've been helpful or entertaining or something in the middle, please consider throwing code ZMOT in your box. Just a reminder, that can be in any game. It doesn't have to be Boom Beach. It can be Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, Heyday, Clash, whatever the heck it might be. Anyways, thanks for spending your time with me. Thanks for commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that sort of good stuff. Let me know how you're doing on Warships. Otherwise, thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace!